Welcome, WBP stars. I'm Viki Geunes, chef owner at restaurant ZILTE, and I'm going to make for you a lovely langoustine. We're going to combine that with some almonds, fresh smoked ones, some girolles, lardo, and celeriac. So let's get started with the celeriac. We made a terrine of celeriac, king trumpet mushrooms. So we very thinly sliced the celeriac, and we're going to build this up into a nice terrine with some grated Parmesan cheese between each layer, and then we're gonna cook it vacuum to obtain a nice millefeuille or terrine. So one layer of celeriac, then we use some clarified butter and some Parmesan cheese. And then we build up with the king trumpet mushroom. And then another layer, first, again, a little bit butter, the Parmesan cheese, which makes the terrine stick to each other. The cheese is going to melt during the steaming. Again, and once again the king trumpets. So, and we keep on building up these in layers until the terrine is completely filled up. Vacuumize it, and as I did our homework already before, steamed it and let it cool down under pressure. So make sure the terrine is very cold while cutting, because there's a lot of butter inside. It makes it easy to cut it because it's getting really hard. Take it out. Put some aluminum foil on top to fill up the foam further. And now we can take it out. Removing the plastic. Remove the excess of the butter. And now you can nicely cut into straight pieces. You see the layers of the celeriac and the king trumpet mushroom. So it's a really umami rich taste. We're gonna get the mushroom, the Parmesan cheese, and then the earthiness of the celeriac inside. go. Now we're gonna sear the terrine both sides so it gets nice crunchy on the parmesan which is inside. The langoustines. I'm only going to use the tails of the langoustine. Like 2 nice pieces to clean. Nice sweet, these langoustines. In contrast of the saltiness of the parmesan cheese, fattiness of the lardo we're gonna use. Just making a small snap so that it really gets straight while baking later on. The sauce we're gonna make with it, we used only vegetables. We made like a mushroom stock from normal white mushrooms, strongly reduced. We use half of this, and on the other hand we got the celeriac we juiced and clarified. We're going to reduce both together and whisking up with some cold butter. We also let infuse a little bit of bonito flakes to get really the umami flavor once again inside, and then we sieve, so we obtain 2 clear stocks, half by half, for mixing our sauce. We're gonna sear the terrine. We don't need a lot of fat because the parmesan cheese is also inside and the clarified butter already. Making it nice coloring on the outside. Meanwhile, we have peeled off fresh almonds, smoked almonds. We chopped and we made some sweet and sour shallots, and we make like a condiment which comes on top of our langoustines after baking. And then the girolles. The girolles we're gonna fry afterward, and also using some nice pieces to cut raw on top of the langoustine to finish. And to give, yeah, like raw mushroom experience on top. Meanwhile, the terrine are very nicely. sauce is reducing. We're gonna fry the mushrooms already, and then the langoustine. We're gonna fry them on one side, the back side, and afterwards we brush a little bit of colored butter, brown butter, and we just pass it like 10-15 seconds to a warm pinchot-tan filled up coverall, so we get a nice, little smoky flavor. Stock has been reduced, or sauce, and then we with this version, same one, of already a little bit of cold butter. Finishing at the very end with a little bit of truffle juice. The terrine we're gonna heat up under the salamander. The cheese has to be melted and the terrine has to be warm, but you have to start making it from very cold, so the parmesan inside gets really crunchy out from the outer part of the terrine. Okay, let's fry the mushrooms. So pepper, seasoning, and we color our langoustine already. Seasoning a little bit in advance. Fresh butter on the mushrooms. Let the butter get a little bit dark. Burning. Well, now we're going to deglaze in some chicken stock and the reduction of our langoustine raw. Reducing, and then at the very end we pass again the girolles. Start frying the langoustines. Only at the back. Passing at the barbecue, then 15 seconds. Langoustine, they just have to be warm inside, not really cooked, so more or less semi-raw inside. Mushroom finishing. The glaze. Finishing girolles. So, time's up for the langoustines. Smell. They become nicely lukewarm, just semi-cooked. I love the strings. Now we put on top a mixture of sweet and sour shallots we made, mixed with the smoked almonds. Then lardo comes on top. Now we're going to make sure the lardo just melts on the langoustine by passing like a few seconds under the salamander. So, we're already on terrine. Lardo has been melted. Putting on girolles. Finishing fresh almonds. Girolles. We made a cream of the girolles as well, but by cooking them vacuum with some chicken stock. So it's mainly gyrolle we have inside. Vanilla girolles. Some crisp made of celeriac on top. Finishing with some small cresses, flowers, herbs. And another nice fresh cress. This gives a little bit bitterness. stabilizing a little bit the langoustine. Close to the terrine. So, final touch. Caramel of the langoustines we used. And then the mushroom celeriac stock. Langoustine, celeriac, some lardo, and girolles.